And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Ink Monsters. Ink Monsters is a game that was on Kickstarter, and I was really actually excited about it because I like the idea of it, where there's a pen that's drawing the monsters and you control the pen and you're trying to draw the monsters. It's a magic pen bringing these monsters to life. I didn't know much else about the game. I knew it was about moving the pen and collecting monsters. So let's take a closer look at what's in the box. The game takes place over 3 rounds. In each round, you're going to put out 12 monsters in a circle. This card here shows what direction things are going to be moving. It starts with clockwise. One person is going to be picking where the pen starts. So they're going to start at one monster outside the circle. And then everyone's going to be dealt some action cards. So on your turn, you may play an action card if you want to. So action cards can do different things. This one will move the pen 1 counterclockwise. This one might move it 2 clockwise. This one says take the first 4 monsters, shuffle them, and put them back. So let's say that's the one I play. All right, so I take these first 4 monsters, and I shuffle them and put them back. Nice. I then take the monster where the pen is. Why am I happy? Because that monster is worth 5 points. The pen then moves to the next monster, and I draw a card to replace the one I played, if you played one, and it's the next person's turn. You will keep doing this till all the monsters are gone, in which case you'll deal out some more monsters to start the next round. So the different cards, there's different action cards. We have this one that puts the pen in front of a 5-value monster if it's there. Take the first 2, shuffle them. Skip, you just don't take a turn. Maybe there's a negative point monster, you don't want it. Just draw a monster off the top of the deck. Flip the direction of this in the middle, making the pen go in a different place. Swap 2 monsters in a circle. And so there's all sorts of cards that are going to do these various things. At the end of the game, you're going to take the monsters you have and score them. So let's say I'm playing a 4-player game. I'm probably going to get around 3 monsters a turn. Not always the case. So we'll say we have 9 monsters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you score each monster. So this monster is worth -3, but +1 for each monster that has hair. So I have 1, 2, 3 monsters with hair, so he's worth 0 points. This ink spill is worth minus points for each ink spill I own. I own 2 ink spills, so it's worth -2. This guy's worth -5, but during the game, he gives me +1 of my hand size. All right, well, that's good. I mean, during the game anyway. This guy's 4, -1 for each monster with spots. 1, 2 monsters with spots, so he's worth 2 points. This guy's just worth 5. She's +1 for each monster with a shirt. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's worth 1 point. And you're going to go through and score each monster that way. Not every monster gives you extra points at the end of the game. Some allow you to essentially use them, tap them, whatever. This guy +1 to an action card. So it might say move 2 clockwise. I can use him to say move 3 clockwise. You can use them each once around. She can move the pen clockwise 1 to 3. This person can do the reverse of an action card. Some, when you take them, like when you take Woogie Bear, you get the next monster in line after him. Some Erica is +3 if she's with Daryl, who, by the way, happens to be +3 if he's with Erica. So some cards are going to score at the end of the game. Some cards give you abilities you can use once per round, and some will give you an immediate action. Most points at the end of the game is the winner. The game comes in a nice magnetic style box that holds the cards. Now, since Albino Dragon is known for their decks of cards, I was actually kind of surprised that the quality of the cards was not as good. They're okay at best. The cards look great, though. I really like the artwork. This is what drew me to the game in the first place, was all the cute little monsters. The symbols on the side are good, although I would have preferred they'd been colored just for an easier check. But I will say that the colors on the side, because there's a lot of monster bonuses that deal with colors, at least they have different backgrounds too. So again, they're fairly easy to tell apart. So components for this are good. I think the card quality probably could have been better. Now, Ink Monsters is a pretty simple concept. It's so simple that it's really not that unique. There's games like Guillotine, a game that's been around for a while, Draco and Company from the Blue Box game. Now these are older games that are out of print, so having a game like this in print is not a bad thing. The idea of moving the pen around, it's a really simple concept, right? There's 12 cards. You are going to get one of those 12 cards when it's your turn. You're playing an action card to give yourself the best one you can. You're going to take a look at the point values of them, the special abilities they give you, and or bonus points that they might give you at the end of the game. So you're going to take all that into account and then play, and also whatever action cards you have. You don't have a lot of choices. You have 3 choices. You play one or not, and then take the card. Really simple. So I like that. In fact, the game on it says 6+, right? Yeah, so for kids. So actually, I tried it out with kids. And here's the problem. It's a cute game and it's a fine game, but the scoring is a little long. I have to say, before I get to scoring too, I'm not a huge fan of the rule book, or the rule page, because first of all, it folds out into this big thing like this with setup and then on the back. And there's several concepts that it doesn't necessarily, there's just a lot of stuff in the game, and it has a few FAQ questions. There's more FAQ in this game almost than there is rules, which is a little odd. But the gameplay itself, the scoring takes a while. I'll be like, all right, this card, 3 points, +1 for each of these, and 4, and you got to write all this stuff down because you can't. It's really hard to count it in your head. Like if you just went by the numbers, you'd be like 6, 7, 12, 15, 19, and then this one's 2 bonus points, 21. Instead, you're going -3 +5, so that's 2. Okay, the next one's -2 +3, that's 1. Wait, what's the first one? That was 2. You're gonna have to write it down, unless you're really good at this. And I feel like I'm pretty good at doing stuff mentally, and yet I still was like, just to be safe, let's write it all down. And so because of that, it kind of clogs it up from being a kid's game. Because kids are like, is this card a good card to get? I'm like, well, yeah, it's worth 3 points. And that card gives you an extra point for it, but that card loses you a point for it, and that card loses you a point for it. So is it worth it? Oh. And I don't mind it. Again, as a light exercise, collect the cards, and at the end see who wins, but didn't feel like there was any real strategy. And it didn't, I like the artwork, it's cute artwork, but it feels like that's pretty much the extent of the game. It's going around and collecting stuff, but you're gonna collect the best card you can at any given point. And if you play a 3-player game, then you have 12 cards or so to score at the end of the game, which is even longer. In a 2-player game, oh my goodness, you're gonna have a lot of cards. What is that, 18 different cards? That's a lot of cards to count up. So it's probably best to play as a 4-player game. I think 4 is the limit, no, 6. Well, I've only played it with up to 4. 6, you're going to get a lot fewer cards. It's a lot easier to add, but then there's a whole lot less control. So the idea is nice. The execution works okay, but the scoring and the end game result is kind of just like a crapshoot. So I really can't highly recommend this one as much as I like how it looks and everything. It's merely just okay. Dice Tower Judgment, cute game.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.